Oh boy. What's going on, good people? So I'm back for part two of my African ancestry results. I got my results in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust my laptop is being silly. I got my results in. And I could honestly say um, I was rather shocked. I really was. Um, I was very shocked. Um, well, let me just give you an overview of what was going on. I got and my results took longer than what they were supposed to. And so African Ancestry reached out to me and they told me why they were taking so long. They told me that for whatever particular reason, my mtDNA, which is my matrilineage DNA, was very unique. So um, they said they needed more time to analyze it or whatever. And so it took them about, after they sent me that, it took them about another, I want to say maybe a week and a half before they gave me an update and told me that um, they were testing the analysis. And then I think like 2 days later, they told me it was complete. Um, yeah. So anyway, now just to be clear, this is not all of my roots, I guess, so to speak, without for lack of a better term. Um, this is my mother's maternal side. So, um, we all know that we're comprised of very different things. So, especially being in the African American community, we are comprised of several different tribes. I mean, many different tribes out of Africa, and apparently some out of Africa. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. Um, so in order for me to basically this genetics test, this DNA analysis, it goes from like I said, my maternal side. So basically my mother, my grandmother, um my mother, her mother's mother, her mother's mother's mother, it goes from that way. So there's three more that I have to do. I have to do my mother's paternal side, which, because her father is no longer living, that means I have to locate one of her siblings, and a male sibling at that, and be able to uh, get the um, do the swab, and hopefully they'll cooperate. Either my uncle, I haven't reached out to him yet, but either my uncle Tommy Lee, my uncle James, and my uncle Charles, that would be the people that I would have to have them do a swab test of to find out my mother's paternal DNA. And with my father, I have to do his maternal, and then I have to do his paternal. I can do it both with my father, like I can do it with myself. I actually could do my father's paternal with myself, which I probably not do because my father, I've already known part of that, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. But I need to get with my father to do his my matrimonial DNA sequence. So, but anywho, without further ado, let me go ahead and share this old beautiful screen of mine and just read it off the results to you guys. I've already seen them. Like I said, I was a bit surprised, but let's go. Okay, let me share this old handy dandy screen here. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Here we go, the results. So I'm going to read them off. Now, they send you, I think before pre-COVID, they were sending these things to you via mail. But as you can see, the data result, April the 28th, when I got them. And let me just read it out. So I got my kid ID number 1085284. Says, "Dear Joshua, with great pleasure that I report your Matrinal clan test results. We have determined that you share maternal genetic ancestry with the Massa people in Cameroon today. We compared parts of your maternally inherited DNA, mtDNA, to that of people from around the world to look for matches using the largest using the largest set of African mtDNA samples available today. We found identical 99.4% matches for you from the mtDNA of the Massa people. This means that at some point in the 500 to 2,000 year history of your maternal lineage, mother to mother to mother, there was a Massa woman." Our analysis focuses on hypervariable regions 1, 2, and 3, HVR1, HVR2, and HVR3 of your mtDNA out of 3 billion parts of your DNA. The variants below are unique to your maternal lineage and indicate DNA sequences patterns that you share with the Massa. The combination of the HVR variants determines your membership in the haplogroup L1C3A. Your statistical confidence measure or your sequence similarity score is 99.4. All that is basically saying that my genetic match is 99.4% of the Massa people when it comes to from mother, 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 just in layman's terms. So it goes down here and it gives the HRV1 variants, just the different variants, and it goes over. I'm not going to go over through all those because they're, it'd be a bit confusing. So it says everyone on your entire maternal lineage from past and into the future is Massa. So what means my sons are Massa, their their children will be Massa, their children, plus my mother, her brothers, her sisters, her grandmother, her mother, her great grandmother. So if anybody, I can't see the stream right now, but basically it's saying, I'm sorry, all of the Griggs family, from our grandma Marjorie, her children, all 15 of her children are Massa. All my aunts in an Ashburn are Massa. All their children are Massa. If I had any uncle that was born by my great grandma Jody, they're Massa. Basically, Grandma Jody is Massa. Her mother is Massa. Somewhere along the line, even though there could have been another tribe, there could have been another tribe that was, one of the women could have, there could have been another tribe. Like there could have been, how do I say this? It's kind of hard to explain, but it basically could have been interbreeding, that basically between tribes, and it was. Like when I run my father's maternal DNA, it's probably going to come back a different tribe. Could come back, somewhere along the Western and Central Africa. When I run my mother's paternal DNA, it's probably going to come back a different tribe. It could come back quite a few tribes, to be honest with you. But anywho. So it's just saying everyone on your maternal lineage from past into the future is Massa. So we encourage you to share this information with everyone on your mother's side of the family, including your siblings, children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, your mother, her sisters, her brothers, and your grandmother. Also, please be sure to join the African Ancestry online community that you can interact with other Massa descendants and download a digital copy of the African Ancestry Guide to African History and Cultures to learn to help you learn more about the people and cultures in Cameroon. Thank you for choosing African Ancestry, signed Gina Page, President. So they sent me a nice little certificate that I can print off, which I'm going to do and put up in here because, I'm kind of proud of it. Anyway, um, getting back to the stream. Anywho, um, so upon learning that, I was shocked. I was shocked because me and my wife have this. We had this running joke because my wife she's from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. So if you know about the political instability in Nigeria as far as the Fulani, the Hausas, and how they're dealing with each other. So it was basically me and her was joking about it. So I was thinking, because I do a lot of research in African tribes and things. I wasn't thinking Cameroon. Cameroon never crossed my mind. I was thinking Benin. I was thinking Ghana. I even thought Senegal. I even thought the Congo. Like I thought all around Cameroon. And so I was thinking that maybe I was gonna be Fulani. My wife was telling me if I was gonna be fun. She's so silly. She was telling me if I was gonna be Fulani, that basically she was gonna hand me over to her tribe. She said she was gonna side with her people. So it was so funny. But anywho, so there upon learning that, from my mother's maternal side that we are Masa people, um instantly I started to do research because I never thought to do. I mean, I'm telling you, I've done research on so many tribes. I had never even heard of the Masa tribe, so I never thought to even do research on the Masa tribe. um, um so anywho, um um so I started doing research and I found out why it took so long because um and I have the video pulled up. I'm gonna play the video a little bit. I found a video on YouTube where somebody basically detailed the Masa tribe. So I'm gonna play that video. But basically I learned that there are only about 200,000 to 400,000 Masa people that are in the world today, in Cameroon. Like they're a very, very, very small tribe. In comparison, when you're talking about millions upon millions of Yoruba, Igbo, Fulani. Fulani is one of the biggest tribes. You're talking about the Akin, the Ashanti. You're talking about all these tribes, the Mandina, um, um, all of these big tribes. And I mean, I can go on. Tutsi, the Hutu, all these tribes, millions and millions of people. But with the Hamas, it was only like 400,000. So there's not a whole lot because they're kind of a reclusive tribe. Even though they're in Cameroon, there's not a whole lot of information known about them. Like it is really not as far as, they're not just a big clan. They're just not. So I end up stayed up like Thursday night tirelessly and Friday just looking, trying to find information. And I'm telling you, it's hard to find on them. So I finally found a video on YouTube, and some of the information that I found on it shocked me. Like it surprised me. So I'm gonna play that video, and then I'm gonna talk about it on the back end. Y'all know how I do over here. So here we go.
Hello, welcome to BioGreat TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. History of the Masa tribe of Cameroon. The Masa people, also called Masana, Banana or Yagua, are a Chadic ethnic group that is found in Cameroon and Chad. They originated from Yemen, then migrated to Egypt before moving to Sudan.
When I found that out that they originated in Yemen, it blew my mind. But I'm gonna go ahead.
This was during the years when they avoided being converted to Islam. The Masa people, over time, have been famous for fishing and rearing cattle. In the early 800s, The Massa people left Sudan to Lake Chad. They lived near the Chad border and were targets of slave traders from Tripoli during the Middle Eastern slave trade. In order to escape from the slave traders, many of the Massa people crossed the Chad River to the geographical space now known as Cameroon. This marked the origin of the Massa tribe in Cameroon. As if the struggles during the Middle Eastern slave trade weren't enough, the Massa people were victims of the transatlantic slave trade, as they were vulnerable to the slave traders who came from Nigeria. They, however, remained celebrated for never participating in the slave trade, as they never sold their fellow Massa into any form of slavery. They also tried hard to resist capture. With an estimated population of 266,000 to 469,000, the majority of the Massa people reside in Cameroon, with most of them speaking Massana, the language of the Massa people. While 45% of the population are Muslims, another 45% are Christians, among which 30% are Catholics or Protestants, while 15% are evangelical Christians. In recent years, the Massa people have been more active in livestock farming. There have been several battles between the Cameroonian and Chadian livestock farmers, leaving many wounded. These battles were usually because some of the farmers were accused of stealing cows. These battles were also owing to the fact that the Massa people are passionate about their livestock. This reflects its importance in social relations and exchanges. For instance, livestock is used as bride price in Massa communities. The major factor for a Massa person's choice between livestock and fishing is their proximity to the river. Fishing generally takes over agriculture in areas where there are rivers. However, the fishermen began to observe a drastic decrease in the amount of fish in the rivers. Some other Massa people also engage in the production of red sorghum, groundnuts, cassava, rice, fonio, cotton, and some vegetable crops. Besides livestock crises, the Massa people may also go to war for reasons such as adultery, an act they consider highly despicable. In their traditional setting, Massa men who go to war wear helmets and carry clubs. They also use sticks and stones as weapons. The Massa women act as cheerleaders during battles, encouraging the male counterparts. When it's two Massa groups fighting, there are rules they must follow. Some of the intra-ethnic war rules is that they must take all wounded warriors away from combat, making sure no one hits a wounded warrior or one who is on the ground. They must also ensure that all battles end before it's dark. Wounded warriors are entitled to getting medical attention from traditional healers. There are only a few female Massa warriors, and they are highly respected for their bravery. The Massa of Cameroon are popular for their friendliness and hospitality, and that's where the name banana comes from, as it means friendly. The Massa are known to be big and tall. They eat lots of fish and love to drink milk from cows. This is probably as a result of their primary fishing and livestock occupations. The bigger and stronger a Massa man is, the more desirable he is. They go as far as holding contests to decide the strongest person in the land. It is he who then solves disputes and is considered the chief warrior of the village. What have we missed out of this history? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.
All right. So, um, I found that video. I want to say Thursday night, and I was preparing for to do the second part to this video, but I found it extremely interesting that they immigrated from Yemen, right? Because when I was, I've been studying haplogroups, and I was looking at the haplogroup from African ancestry that they was telling me about. I want to say it was L13. It was L1. Lord, let me think. Let me look at it online again. It's L13C3A. When I seen that haplogroup, I knew that was a central. It's found in Central and West Africa, but it's also found in East Africa and in certain parts of the Arabian Peninsula. So I was looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. So when I went back and looked that up and I looked up the haplogroup, I seen that. I was like, wow. So that's why it was taking so long to do part of the sequences, because apparently um, um, the Massa people didn't originate from what would be, I mean, Europeans changed the Arabian Peninsula and made it the Middle East, but it was always Africa, but they didn't originate from Central and West Africa. So they originated from what would be present day the Middle East. So I just found that very unique. I found it telling, especially some of my people who love to fish. I'm not, I'm okay with fishing, but I got family members that they would live on a fish creek. And so I found it kind of telling. I'm like, wow, um, okay, especially my cousin John, he would live on a fish creek, and his brother, before he passed, he would live on a fish creek. I just found that like, wow, like blew my mind. But I told my wife that um, I'm going to do, because you can do 23andMe and Ancestry.com, but they will only tell you like what region you're from. Like they'll tell you you're from Nigeria, they'll tell you from Benin or Cameroon, but they won't exactly tell you what specific tribe you're from. And that's why I did African Ancestry. And it's a little bit more expensive than 23andMe and Ancestry.com and all that. It's a little bit expensive, but to know exactly what tribe that is in your DNA and in your lineage, I think is worth it. Um, like I said, I want to do my father's maternal line. I'm pretty certain he'll cooperate. As long as he don't have to draw no blood, he good. And when my dad had to draw blood, he can be like, no, but he'll cooperate if I just say, Pop, I need you to swab, this and that. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I told my wife that I want to go to Cameroon. We're supposed to be taking a trip. My wife is African, so she hasn't been home since the whole COVID situation. So we're supposed to be taking a trip back to Africa. If not, not both of us, her. But I told her I plan to go to Cameroon, but I want to do the other test first, so I can just make just a tour, because um all those African countries, whether people know it or not, they're not too far of a flight from each other. Like Ghana from Nigeria is like a 2 hour flight at best. Especially if you leave from Lagos, it's like a 2 hour, 2 or 3 hour flight. It's not that long. So you're talking about from Cameroon to Nigeria is probably another 2 hour flight. So I told my wife that I want to, visit there this year. Maybe when we go back and visit Nigeria this year, we can make a couple of stops or whatever. She told me, she told me if I was Fulani, she was going to turn me over to her people. So, um, she's so silly. She's such a silly woman. But anywho, yeah, I encourage. Listen, growing up, in the United States, being a descendant from slave, you um there's a lot that um you don't know your original tongue. Like I know my original tongue now. My original tongue is Masana. I don't know how to speak it, but I don't even know what to go to. I mean, obviously I would go to the Massa people to learn it, but I know that's my original tongue. Like one of my original tongues is Masana, which is powerful. It's powerful, like to know where you originated from, like to know that my people came from Yemen, went to Egypt, went to Sudan, and went to Chad, and now they're in Cameroon. Like to know that, it adds so much like backstory to myself. Like, oh, this is where I came from now. Not just, we were kidnapped. That was only a part of the story. We were kidnapped. And then knowing, like listening to the video and knowing that how our people, the Masana people, the Massa people, they stuck together. Um they didn't sell each other. They didn't sell their fellow Africans into slavery. They just moved to avoid both slave trades, because you had the Middle Eastern slave trade and you had the transatlantic slave trade. And a lot of people don't talk about the Middle Eastern slave trade very much. But it was just as bad. I mean, I ain't gonna say just as bad, but it was pretty bad. But to know that my people have a sense of, they have a moral compass to know that, which is probably why I'm so strongly about adultery, because I think adultery is one of the most vilest things that you can do. But to know that they have a sense of loyalty to each other, that they wouldn't betray each other, they stuck together. It's man, I just it's powerful. And to know that that's in my DNA, to know that's in my son's DNA, that loyalty. And then they're called the banana people as well, because they're very friendly and they're very hospitable. And if you know me, most people who know me know that I'm very approachable. Um, and my sons are like that, except Katie. He be mean mugging sometimes. But anyway, um, yeah. So any family member, y'all got a question, y'all can hit me up. More information that I find, I would definitely give to y'all, because it's just not about me, even though, my journey for self-discovery led me here. But it's not just about me. It's about us knowing who we are. Some of you guys may not care, and I understand that. If y'all don't care, I understand. But I do, because I go back and forth to Africa all the time. And when you see how the African people, how they know who they are, and it gives them a sense of empowerment, you know. But anywho, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this stream up. Me and some other people, again, some other people gonna join the podcast. We're gonna do an open discussion about, Black Panther and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So if you guys want to tune into that, if you want to join the panel, I'm gonna put a link in the description. So yeah. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for taking the time to, you know, just listen to me share this amazing, amazing thing. Um, thank y'all. God bless. Love you guys, and shalom. Y'all see this big smile on my face because I'm really happy and excited. Be out.